Right, lovely to see you all. Right, we're all here today for a talk from Richard Barnes, and the topic of today's talk is 50 favourites. So Richard's going to be taking through 50 of his favourite plants that mean special, that have a special significance to him. And today's talk has been arranged by the Evesham Countries and Gardens and Country Group. So thank you very much to them. And as you know, I always like to warm you up with a quick quiz question. So today's quiz question is, can anybody tell me what is anthophobia? Don't shout out, by the way, we'll have the answers at the end. Just sort of nod at the screen if anybody knows what it is, or wave at the screen if you know what it is.
Oh, never heard of it.
Okay. Well, I think it's quite an interesting one. I'd never heard about it until recently, so it was quite interesting. So there's a program on Sunday mornings from Christine Walkton. She's one of my favourite gardeners, and it's it starts on the second episode this Sunday. If you missed the first one, you can get it on catch up. But Christine's definitely one of my favourites, so it's worth watching that. And there's another program on which I'm sure you've probably seen already called Monty Don's Adriatic Gardens. So Christine's is on a Sunday morning at 7 a.m. on BBC Two. And Monty's, I think, is Friday night, but again repeated on a Sunday morning. I have mentioned this once before, but a few people have found it useful. You can now have subtitles on these Zoom presentations. So at the bottom of your screen, there's a little box that says live transcript. So you can click on that, and then you'll get a transcript of everything that myself or the speaker says. So that can be useful for some people. Onions. Now, does anybody like cutting up onions? I know I don't, because obviously they make you cry. But there is a brand new onion launching next Tuesday in Waitrose, which is a tear preventer. So it does not make you cry when you cut it up. So I thought that was quite useful. This is what they look like. So you need to look for something called Sunions. They're obviously a lot more expensive than the regular ones. But yeah, they're going to be available for the first time. They're not genetically modified, just in case you're worried. It's good old traditional manual breeding, but they're available in Waitrose from next Tuesday if you're interested. And just to let you know, our next talk is in a couple of weeks' time, on the 25th of January at 7:30, which is a Tuesday, and that's from Andrew and Amy Skier, and they are from a company called Potato House. So they're one of the UK's leading breeders and suppliers of potatoes, and they do a lot of coloured varieties of potatoes. So I've spoken to them a few times in the past, because I'm sure most of you are aware now that I only grow the coloured varieties. So make sure you put that in your diary, and if you've got any questions on how to grow potatoes or different varieties, whatever those questions may be, they'll be ready to answer those for you that night. And I just thought I'd show you some of the ones that I grow. I grow a mix of the purple and the red varieties, and it is going to be a bit tricky this year to get hold of some of them because of Brexit. So a lot of the supplies would come from Europe, and they're no longer able to send them to us. But here is a list of the ones that I would suggest you go for. So if you want to have a look at the Potato House website in advance, it is basically www.potatohouse.co.uk. And these are some of my favourite varieties. I think the only one that is actually still available for this year is Blau Anneliese. I don't think the others are going to be available due to Brexit. But if you want to make a list of it, those are the ones I would recommend. Right, so I'm going to just hand over to Chaz if Chaz is there, and then Chaz can unmute himself. And then Chaz is going to introduce Richard for us. Be there, Chaz.
Thank you very much, Indy. Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. Nice to see you all here today in this sunny afternoon. Like to thank Richard Barnes in particular for doing this at 1 week's notice after Joe Tierney unfortunately had to call off last week. He's still not very well, so we're hoping he's going to recover. We may see him in the future to give his talk. Richard kindly stepped in, and he's based up in the northeast. Some of you may already know him. He's based up in Newcastle, and he's got over 30 years experience in the industry, and he has several talks that he gives. My own quiz question on this is, how many plants is he actually going to go through? Because when I talked to him last week, he said, oh, it's 50-ish. because they keep changing. His favourite plants keep changing, so sometimes he might add 1 or 2. So see if he actually does 50 or if he does more. And I'm hoping he knows the answer, because I probably won't keep count. But anyway, that's enough for me. Richard, if you'd like to take over and start your presentation, and thank you very much indeed.
Well, in answer to Chaz's question, I don't really know. It's roughly 50, but for example, when I talk about snowdrops, there's going to be several varieties of snowdrops, so you can't count that. That's one. Okay, so right, having got that out of the way, this is
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Richard.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Lovely.
Fantastic.
great. Well, thank you very much.
Look
You
forward
need to
seeing
give
you.
people the answer to the question.
Oh goodness, yeah. Oh yes, well, yeah, well spotted. Does anybody have an answer for me?
Ants.
Caroline?
Fear of flowers.
Oh,
Yeah, fear of flowers.
fear of flowers. Yes, yes.
Fear of flowers.
Yep. Which is I never thought that anything like that would actually exist, but yeah. So anthophobia is apparently a persistent or intense fear of flowers.
No.
Yeah.
There are some triffids.
So that'll be a topic you can talk about your next meal and gathering when you meet people again. So yeah, just as a quick reminder, Tuesday 25th, 7:30, that's Andrew and Amy Skier from Potato House. So you can have a look at their website, which is www.potatohouse.co.uk. Right then, folks, I will open up the breakout rooms and I will say goodbye.
Bye.
Yes, indeed.